Promoter Eddie Hearn has conducted a poll on Twitter. Who should Dillian Whyte face next? The choices he's given us are Joseph Parker, Dominic Breazeale, Robert Helenius, Bryant Jennings, Deontay Wilder, Del Boy Chisora, Lucas Brown, and Jarrell Miller. Now, personally for me, I wouldn't mind seeing him against any of those guys. I think any of them would make for a good contest, apart from maybe Robert Helenius, because he's really seen better days. But other than him, I wouldn't grumble at Dillian Whyte facing any of those guys. But preferably, I'd like to see Dillian Whyte get a title shot next. I'd like to see him in there against Wilder, especially if Wilder's not going to face Ortiz. And we know he don't want to face Stavern. We know that unification is not likely to happen this year. So, you know, Dillian Whyte against Deontay Wilder, why not? I'd like to see it. Also, the other world champion in that list is Joseph Parker. I'd also like to see that. But if he don't manage to get either one of those world title opportunities, then out of the non-title bouts there, I would most like to see Dillian Whyte in against either Jarrell Miller or Dominic Breazeale. Those are the two guys I'd like to see him against most out of all the non-title bouts. Dominic Breazeale, we know, is a tough guy. He always brings it. He's got loads of heart. A lot of people liked his last bout that he had against Izuagono. Kind of a come-from-behind victory in a really exciting scrap. So Breazeale's going to bring it, and I think him and Dillian Whyte would be a very, very entertaining affair. So that's the reason I'd like to see that. And Jarrell Miller, something similar. I think Dillian Whyte has got better skills than Miller, but Miller at 300 pounds, very strong, comes forward, talks trash. Imagine the press conferences between Miller and Whyte, even before the fight's even taken place. So those would be my two preferences in terms of non-title bouts on the list. And if I had to pick one out of Breazeale and Miller, I'd probably go with Miller. I don't know, maybe I'll go with Breazeale. I don't know. I just feel like the Miller fight might be a bit more sloppy, might be more holding and clinching. I have a feeling that the Breazeale fight might be a bit cleaner. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I'm envisioning in my head. So maybe I'd go with Miller though, because he's undefeated. You know, Whyte against Miller. And Miller is such a bold and brash character. I don't know. I'm a little conflicted there on which I would prefer, Whyte versus Miller or Whyte versus Breazeale. But definitely one of the two out of the non-title bouts. And out of the title bouts in that particular list, I'd prefer to see Dillian Whyte against maybe Joseph Parker. I think the Parker fight would be more exciting than the Deontay Wilder fight. Wilder picks his spots. He uses his legs very well. He leans back from punches. Wilder's not interested in being involved in a punch-up. That's one thing about Wilder. He's a sharpshooter. He's a guy who's going to stay at long range. He might not even throw many punches. But once he gets his opportunity, he's going to try and end the fight with one punch. That's what Wilder's going to try and do, you know, or seriously hurt you with one punch when he gets an opportunity to land it. So he's not in the business of engaging, whereas Joseph Parker is. Joseph Parker will engage. He will let his hands go. So I personally think the Parker fight might be more entertaining, Dillian Whyte versus Joseph Parker. So if I had to only pick one out of the whole list, it would be Whyte versus Parker next. That's what my preference would be. But the other fights as well that I've mentioned, you know, against Wilder, against Breazeale, or even against Jarrell Miller, would all be fine with me. But let me know what you think. Have you voted in this Eddie Hearn poll? Who do you think is the most realistic fight on there for Dillian Whyte? Some people are going to talk about Bryant Jennings. Maybe that is a realistic fight. We'll see. Robert Helenius, I mean, knowing how cynical boxing fans are, people are probably going to say that Robert Helenius is the most realistic fight on there. Or Lucas Brown, maybe. So, yeah. Anyway, let me know how you feel, people. Who would you pick out of that list of potential next opponents for Dillian Whyte? Drop your comments in the comment section below. Also, if you ain't done so already, on the previous video, make sure you click the notification bell below this video. It should be next to the subscribe button to receive alerts for all my future uploads. And take a look at a selection of 4 other videos appearing on screen right now or very shortly. of which I've recorded recently. You might want to take a look at those if you haven't watched them already. So thank you very much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, or if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Favorite the video, share the video. Much appreciated. Thank you for watching again. It's Hatman, I'm out.